Welcome to Ergonomic Injury Prevention for the Automotive Repair Technician. The goal of this video is to increase your awareness of the ergonomic-related hazards associated with your job. Automotive service and collision repair work are fast-paced and physically demanding. Material handling, maintaining awkward postures, and physical exertion can lead to sprains and strains to different areas of the body. Especially vulnerable to serious sprains and strains are backs and joints like knees and shoulders. These injuries are not only painful, but can be long-lasting and debilitating. In this presentation, we will identify risk factors, discuss the impact of ergonomic injuries, and the best practices to help you avoid getting hurt. Back injuries are the most common and severe workplace ergonomic-related injury. Nationally, approximately $50 billion a year are spent on back injuries. Statistically, 4 out of 5 people, or 80% of the general population, regardless of occupation, will suffer a back injury serious enough to warrant medical attention. After an initial injury, there is an 80% chance of reoccurrence. Due to the debilitating nature of back injuries, they are the second leading cause of absenteeism in the workplace, second only to the common cold. To get an idea of the severity and impact these injuries have, we took a look at the numbers of a workers' compensation company that insures automotive repair facilities. Over the last 20 years, this company experienced 84,600 claims, and of those, 6,537, or 8%, were injuries to the back, shoulders, or knees. The total cost of all injuries over that same 20-year span was approximately $58 million, and of that, approximately $38 million, or 67%, was spent on back, knees, and shoulder injuries. That is a sizable amount of money for such a low percentage of injuries. Due to the nature of automotive repair work, technicians routinely perform tasks that put them at risk. These risk factors include, but are not limited to, material handling, awkward and static postures, overexertion, and standing for extended periods of time. Your job requires you to perform routine heavy lifting. Technicians are frequently handling automotive components. Tires, brake rotors, and batteries are some of the common lifting you perform. Technicians also move heavy and awkward components, such as engines, transfer cases, and transmissions. This frequent and unavoidable material handling creates significant ergonomic stress on the body, making it imperative that technicians utilize good work practices to minimize the hazards. Good body mechanics and smart work practices minimize the likelihood of injury caused by these tasks. Good lifting techniques are key to reducing wear and tear on your back. Being in the correct position when you lift allows your body to function as designed. Let's take a closer look at the fundamentals of proper lifting. When lifting an item that is low or on the floor, get into a squat. This lowers your center of gravity and puts it close to the load. Test the weight so that you know what you're getting into. Then, with a smooth movement and your head up, stand straight up. Having your head up will maintain your spine's natural curves. Here are some additional points to consider when lifting. Let your abdominal and leg muscles be the force that powers your lifting. If there is something big that needs to be moved, make sure there are no impediments to doing it safely. For example, clear your route of any obstacles and prop open doors. Never twist your torso when handling an object. This creates a lot of torque on the spine. Always keep the object directly in front of you and turn with your feet. Keep your back upright. Don't add the weight of your body to the lift. When bringing down an awkward and heavy item, like a transmission, from an overhead position, use appropriate tools, such as a transmission jack. Or if the item is heavy enough and low to the ground, a two-person lift may be warranted. 2 people can perform any task more efficiently and safely. It makes sense to assist your coworkers and ask for help when you need it. Tires can be heavy, awkward, and often you're handling several at once. Consider the level of the tires and change your technique accordingly. When there is a large stack of material to move, use the appropriate tool. Once the load is hooked, then lean back with one foot extended. This provides both the weight to shift the load and a shock absorber in the extended leg. These techniques are valuable when moving any materials in a stack. When you lift transfer cases, engine heads, axles, drivetrains, and rear ends, use a lifting device and ask your coworkers for help. Work smarter, not harder, by using the appropriate tools. Remember, these aids are useless to you if they're inaccessible in a cluttered tool crib. Next, we will discuss awkward postures. But before we discuss the impact of awkward postures, let's take a look at the anatomy of the back. This will help you better understand the impact awkward postures have on your back. The back, or spine, is made up of vertebrae, which are the bones, discs, which is a gel-like substance between the vertebrae that act like shock absorbers, muscles, which support the spine, and finally the nerves, which extend from the spinal column to the rest of the body. Anytime we deviate the spine out of its natural position, you are considered to be in an awkward posture, whether it's bent over working in the engine compartment or working overhead. You increase your risk even more when you hold that posture for an extended period of time, otherwise known as static posture. When you're positioned in an awkward posture, the discs in that area will bulge in the opposite direction, placing stress and strain on that area of the spine. Technicians do an exorbitant amount of pushing, pulling, turning, hammering, etc. while fixing vehicles. Everyone is familiar with the term elbow grease. Whether it's taking stuff apart or putting it back together, more often than not, things don't go easy. It takes force to get the job done. The application of this force creates stress on muscles and joints, potentially contributing to sprain and strain injuries. It's important that technicians be mindful of their physical limitations and not overexert themselves, putting their health at risk. Automotive repair work means you're on your feet constantly. This in and of itself creates stress and wear and tear on the body. When you stand for long periods of time, the foot will flatten, rolling the ankle inward, throwing the rest of your body out of alignment. You may start to feel discomfort in the feet, then the knees, and eventually the lower back. One way you can reduce the effects that standing has on your knees and back is to wear proper footwear. If your footwear does not provide you with the proper support, the impact on your feet, back, and knees can be debilitating. Automotive repair facilities have many different types of material handling devices at their disposal. Transmission jacks, engine cranes, and dollies, to name a few. Coworkers are also available to help out when the lift would be easier with more than one person. When someone makes the decision not to use one of these devices or asks for help, it's considered to be unnecessary material handling. Unnecessary material handling adds to the wear and tear on the back, knees, and shoulders, and should be avoided at all costs. Everyone is susceptible to the natural aging process. As we get older, we experience a decline in overall body fitness. Some people age faster than others. This pace is affected by numerous factors, including genetics, lifestyle, and occupation. As you age, your back and joints, like knees and shoulders, experience a natural degradation over time. Serious injuries can hinder your ability to earn a living. These injuries, whether back, shoulder, or knees, have the potential to keep you out of work for extended periods of time and, in worst-case scenarios, force you out of your trade altogether. Think about how much time, money, and training you have invested in your career, and what would happen if you no longer could perform the day-to-day requirements. It can also prevent you from fulfilling your responsibilities not just at work, but at home. You might not be able to mow the lawn, rake leaves, shovel the driveway, or care for children. Serious injuries can affect your leisure time, from riding recreational vehicles, participating in sports, hobbies, and the things we truly love to do. These injuries can have a significant impact on what you do and can greatly affect your quality of life. Bottom line, these injuries, whether back, shoulders, or knees, can limit your overall happiness, choices, and flexibility. We will never be able to entirely eliminate the risk factors automotive repair presents, but you can take steps to reduce the impact that these risk factors have on your body. So how do we prevent these injuries from happening? Well, the first thing is to constantly be aware of the hazards and risk factors that your job presents. After that, start by minimizing wear and tear whenever possible by avoiding unnecessary material handling. Utilize equipment such as engine cranes, transmission jacks, and dollies. Get help from coworkers whenever lifting heavy objects. Take periodic breaks while performing tasks which require extensive physical exertion. All of this awareness should not be forgotten when you leave work. This information should be utilized in day-to-day life, when working at home, and even during recreational activities. Utilizing proper body mechanics and lifting techniques is another way you can reduce the wear and tear on your body. There are 8 helpful techniques for proper lifting. Size up the load. Know how much the object you are about to lift weighs. Make sure there are no surprises. Plan the job. Remove any impediments, such as opening doorways and removing trip hazards. Have a good base of support. Keep your feet in line with your shoulders. Bend your knees. Your leg muscles are a lot stronger than your back muscles. You'll also maintain that neutral spine, keeping the back straight. Get a good grip. Keep the load close. Remember, the further away the object gets from your body, there is an increased amount of strain placed on the lower back. Lift with your legs. And finally, pivot. Don't twist. When your lower back is under load, the vertebrae and discs in your lower back are compressed. When you twist to place the object down, the 2 vertebrae grind on the disc, wearing it out. Another way you can reduce the chances of suffering one of these injuries is through physical condition and exercise. Strengthening your back, abdominal, and leg muscles reduce your risk of injury. These muscles support your core and help you lift. Physical conditioning and exercise also slow the aging process, and aging is a big risk factor for injury. Another way you can reduce these injuries from occurring is by attempting to maintain a neutral posture whenever possible. As mentioned earlier, awkward postures put you at a significant risk. It's very difficult to maintain neutral position throughout the day, but if you're aware of the risk, you can take the steps to reduce the impact when exposed. If you feel you're in an awkward posture and putting stress on an area of your back, shoulder, etc., there are stretches that can be performed that may reduce the stress and tension created by the awkward posture. Simply stretch in the opposite direction of the bend. Stretching is best done prior to and especially following activities that might stress your spine. It's common practice to stretch prior to recreational activities. Why not approach the physical demands of your work with the same preparation and awareness? A few simple stretches can be easily spread throughout your daily routine. Stretching temporarily increases strength, improves range of motion, and decreases the chance of injury by giving you a greater margin of error. Hold each stretch steadily for several seconds to make it effective. When it comes to shoulders, extensive reaching can put you at risk. Try to minimize reaching whenever possible. Reaching, coupled with heavy lifting overhead, also puts your upper back and shoulders at risk. Also, change positions frequently, because maintaining static positions for extended periods is very stressful on your shoulders as well as on your back. Finally, when it comes to maintaining good posture, some additional tips. Wear comfortable shoes or boots, preferably boots, in good condition as mentioned before. Make sure the boot is equipped with good ankle support and arch support. Possibly provide additional arch support by purchasing inserts. If you're sitting for extended periods of time, use what is called the 90-degree rule. Have your hips at 90 degrees, elbows at 90 degrees, and knees at 90 degrees, and push back against the support, allowing the chair to support you, not you supporting yourself. This will keep your back in its neutral position. When you stand for extended periods of time, you can shift your weight from side to side. This will take stress off of one area of your back and place it on another. You can also elevate one foot to take the pressure off that area of your back as well as your knee. When it comes to injuries in the automotive repair industry, it requires awareness and action on your part. When you are placed in an environment day in and day out, it's human nature for complacency to set in. When complacency sets in, bad habits can develop. These bad habits put you at a significant risk for an injury. When this occurs, it's generally not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Take the steps this video has identified to reduce the risk of trauma to your back, shoulders, and knees.